Hello students, now what we are going to learn is all about this file operation in case of this C programming. So in the previous lecture we have just seen some of the examples related with this file operations, and we introduced some of the functions that are used in case of this C programming, and we also discussed some of the modes that we are just using in case of this files. And as an example, we were having some contents. We typed some contents inside a file, and we opened a file in case of write mode, and we were able to write some contents in the file, and we viewed the files which were just written using the functions. So continuing with that, in this lecture we are going to learn some of the functions that we are going to use when you are trying to read a file, and we will give some examples related with this also, and some of the programming examples like counting the number of characters in the file and counting the number of lines in the file. So those are all the examples that we are going to see in this lecture. So just a recap of all the functions, like we have fscanf, fprintf, fgetters, fputters, fgetc, fputc, and fread, and then fwrite. So those are all the functions that are associated with the text file in this C programming. Now one of the important functions when you are just going to read a file is this getC. So this getC function will read a single character from the file, means the stream what we are just providing over here. So suppose if you are mentioning it as a file stream, it will read the characters from the file stream, and suppose if you are giving it as stdin, it means that the standard input stream is given there, and it returns the character as an integer value, means the corresponding ASCII value of that particular characters will be written. And as per the example which is given here, I am just reading the character from the standard input, and I am printing the character same by using a printf statement. So the syntax of this getC is something like this. The return value is an integer value, and getC function, it gets the characters. So the file stream what I have just opened here means the file pointer that has been just declared inside the program will be just passed as a parameter here. So it reads a single character from the given input stream and returns the corresponding integer value. Typically, as I said, it is an ASCII value. And suppose if there is a failure, then it returns an EOF, that is an end of file. So similar to this getC function, we have one more function, that is fgetc. Both the functions of this getC as well as this fgetc are similar. Other than that, the differences that we can just find here is some of the macros cannot be just implemented by using this fgetc, whereas you can just implement some of the macros in case of a getC. That was the only difference that we can find between an getC and fgetc. Other than that, both the functions of this getC and then this fgetc are the same, where it is also used to obtain an input from a file, means a single character is read at a time. So this also returns the number of characters read by the function. And one more thing, when you are using a getC function or a fgetc function, it returns the character where the file pointer is actually pointing. Okay. So initially, once you open this file, the file pointer will be there at the beginning of the file, and once you read this character by using this getC function or an fgetc function, and after reading the character on success, the file pointer automatically it increments. So after reading the file pointer, it just increments, right? The file pointer it increments once the reading operation is being performed by using this getC or a fgetc function. So now if it is there at the EOF, then it returns an error when we are just using this fgetc or a getC function. So what is the EOF? Because we always say that when we are just reading a file, see, some contents are there inside the file. So we must know up to what extent we have to just read that contents which is there present in the file, right? Because there may be so many contents in the file. Suppose if I just want to read the entire contents of the file, there must be an end mark, so there must be a benchmark, so that I need to just stop once the file is being ended, means when I just reach the end of that file. So how to find that end of the file? So sometimes when you are just writing inside the file, suppose if you want to make sure that you are going to reach an end of the file, you can have a special character at the end of the file. Say for example, I may put an hash symbol at the end of the file. So whenever I am just reading that hash symbol, I can say that I have reached the end of the file. So similarly, in this case also, when you are using a disk operating system, this is one of the operating system, and when you are using this disk operating system, it uses a control Z, right? It uses a control Z, which denotes the end of the file. And similarly, this Unix operating system is also there, where this Unix operating system, it uses a control D to denote this end of the file. Okay. So when we just use this EOF, it gives us a benchmark, so that we'll be just on getting this EOF, it says that you have reached the end of the file, right? So whenever you are using the getC function, suppose if you are getting it as an EOF, right? When you are getting it as an EOF, it indicates that the end of the file has been just reached, right? So we have to just use a character input function to find this EOF, and this EOF, it is defined in std.h as a -1, as a -1, it is being defined. Now a simple example it is given here. Now you see this example where I am having a while loop, right? So this while loop will be just keep on executing. So inside the while loop, what I have just given here is I have given a getC function which gets a character from this file pointer. So it reads the character and it just gives it to this C. So until the C is not equal to this EOF, which is given in a capital letter. So when it not equal to this EOF, it keeps on reading. It keeps on reading. So when this EOF will come is at the end of the file. So at that time, EOF not equal to EOF will be the condition. So the condition will not be satisfied, so that the loop gets breaked. So until you reach this end of the file, you keep on reading the characters which are there in the file. This is what is the example it says. Now what we are going to see here is a simple program to read the contents which are present inside the file by using this getC function. So I have declared the file pointer, that is FP, and I have declared one more ch, because this getC function, it returns the characters as a format of an integer, as we said, as in format of ASCII value. So I have declared this as an integer. Now using this fopen function, I am just passing the path of the file, and I am specifying the mode which is there in read mode. Since I am going to read the file, I have just specified here as read mode R. So the path and the file name is sample.txt, what you have just used there, and the contents will be just opened for the read operation. Now this is what is the initial checking that we do normally. So when the file pointer is equal to null, it can say that the file for the the text file cannot be just opened for the operation, since the file pointer is equal to null. So we have also seen the conditions like the file may not be present, or sometimes I might have given some misspelling inside this file, or this file may be there in some other IO operation. So at that particular cases, it gives a null value that we know. And similarly, now if it is not the case, then automatically what will happen here is I'll just go on keeping the contents which are there inside the file, keep reading those contents. So using this getC function, I am reading this character which is there inside where the file pointer is FP is pointing. So initially this FP on opening, it will be pointing towards the first character of this file. So it is being stored here in this ch. Now I just check whether the ch is not equal to an end of file, because if it is an end of file, then I have to just stop the operation, because there is no content to be read inside the file. Okay. So if it is not equal to an end of file, then it keeps on reading. So this while loop, it keeps on executing until it encounters an EOF. So now what I do here is I'm just putting this character ch putchar function. This putchar function will be just printing the character in the output. So the character what I have just read here, it will be just printed over here. Then I just once again execute this getC function. I call this getC function. So what happens here is on execution, the file pointer, on execution of this function, the file pointer might have moved on to the next character. So once again I am just reading that character, and the corresponding character will be stored in this. On execution of this function, once again the file pointer will automatically increment to move on to the next character. So until the end of condition is being reached, what happens here is I just keep on reading, and while reading I am just printing the characters inside the output. And finally what I do here is, after the execution is over, I close this file operations, right? So this is what is the simple program that we are just using over here. Now you see, this is a example what I have just specified over here. Now we are going to use this functions, right? Now we are going to use these functions, and to we are going to see the how this operation is going to happen, right? Now the same program is being typed here. Now what I am doing here is I am just executing this program. So I have just opened this sample.txt file, which is being opened there in the read mode. Once the file pointer has been just declared, then I just check whether it is a null. Okay, suppose if it is a null or not, right? So remember that you always give the double slash. Sometimes it is acceptable, and sometimes a single slash is acceptable, a single backslash is acceptable inside the paths. If it is not so, then you can give a double backslash also. Now you see I am just moving on to this location, that is Einstein. I have a file which is named as sample. Now I just open this file sample. A text file is there. Now you see the contents are there inside this text file what I have just previously written. So 10 lines are there. Now I close this. So it is now there inside this path Einstein. Einstein sample.txt is there. So the same file is being opened there in this read mode, and further I just check whether the file pointer is null during the execution. If it is a null, then I can say that the text file cannot be just opened, and if it is not so, then I will just move on to this reading of this character one by one. So the execution of this while loop, it happens. So until I just find out the end of this character, it keeps on executing. Okay, so this is what is the program. Now we will just try to execute this program, and let us see how this program executes. Now I am just going to compile this program and execute this program. Now compiling and running. Now let us see the output of this program. Now you see the output is being displayed there as Einstein College of Engineering 10 times. Okay, so this is what is the contents of the file also. So this is a simple example that shows how the file is being read by using this read mode, and how the operations are being performed by using this C programming. Okay, now moving on towards the next one. So now in this case also we are having a same file where we are going to use this sample.txt, which is there in read mode, and I am going to read that contents. That in this case what function I am going to use here is I am going to use this fgetC function. That's it, right? So instead of using that getC function, in this case I am going to use a fgetC function. So you can't just find much more difference between that get C and then F get C. So the same syntax, instead of get C I am just using an F get C to perform the same read operation. So the same read operation that is performed on the file, that is E:Einstein sample.txt. Now I just execute the same file, but now this is happening by using this F get C function, right? So previously it was done with the get C function. Now in this case I am just using an F get C. Now you can see the contents of the file, the same contents of the file, it is being written over here by using this F get C functions. Okay. Now we can't just find much more difference over there between that get C and F get C. Both of them are performing the same operations. Now this is one more program to print the number of lines and the number of characters which are present inside the file. So in order to just find out the total number of lines and then the characters which are present inside the file, in this case what I am going to do here is I am going to declare a file pointer. So I have declared two variables, like one is lines and the other one is characters. This is to read the this is to count the total number of lines that are present inside the file, and this function is to find out the total number of characters that are present, including the spaces. So spaces and the new line characters will be also counted for this characters, and rest of the operations are same. So I just open this file in read mode because I am going to perform only the read operation. So on reading this I am going to find out the total number of lines inside the file, and I am going to find out the total number of characters inside the file. So initial checking, that we know when a file pointer is being opened, I check whether the file pointer is null. So if it is a null value, then I cannot just perform this operations by inside the text file. So I just exit off. So if it is not so, then what I do, I just read the characters one by one. So using this get C function, I just read the character, and the same character is being stored here in this ch. Suppose if the ch is an EOF, then we just stop there itself. So we cannot just move further. So if it is not equal to an end of file, then what I do, I just keep on reading, right? So while reading, I check two things. So initially I have just performed a read operation. So a character is being read. Now I check if that character is a new line character, right? So suppose if it is a new line character, it means that it is a new line. So I have to just increase the count on this line. So initial count of these lines as well as the characters are being set to 0. Now when I encounter a new line character, I just increment this lines, and if it is not so, then this lines will not be incremented. Now since I have not given any bracket after this if, only one line just below this if will be under this loop, I mean under this condition. So rest of this will be just automatically performed. So now I just increment the character value. So whenever I just read a character, I just keep on incrementing this character value. Now in this case, what I am doing here is I am just printing the file put care of ch. So the characters what I have just read here, it is being printed there in the output, and the next F get C, it just keeps on reading the next character. Now after reading the next character, once again it goes back. So until it becomes an end of file, it keeps on reading. So whenever a new line character is encountered, the lines will be incremented, and similarly for each and every operations, the total number of characters will be just encountered. Okay. So if you want to skip some of the special characters or some of the spaces what is being present inside the file, you can mention that the ASCII value must be in between these and these. We know the ASCII value between this capital A and then this small a, and we know the capital Z and then small z ASCII value. So in between these two ASCII value, if it is present, then you just increment this character value, so that you can get the exact character value without the spaces also. So but this program will count space also as a character. Then what I do here is I just print the number of characters which are present inside the file. So the chars contains the number of files which are present inside the file. So it will print out the total number of characters, and similarly this lines will consist of the line count. So this will print the line count once this program gets executed. Okay, so this is what is the theme of the program. Now we'll just see the execution of this program. So we just start executing this program, same program. Now we are going to read the same text file, that is sample.txt, which is present there. So I just open this same file in case of this read mode. Then I just keep on executing. Okay, so until this end of the file it gets executed. Now you can just view the execution of this file. Now compiling and executing. Okay, now you can view the contents, like, yeah, now you see here I just given the total number of lines, so every lines are being printed. So the number of characters which are present, right? So totally 10 lines are there, 32 characters including the space as well as the new line. Okay, so the number of lines which are present here is 10, right? Now when you look into this, you see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the space is also counted: 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31. Okay, so totally 31 characters, and the new line is the 32 character. So 32 characters per line, so totally 10 lines are there, and finally the number of characters which are present here is 320. So this simple example, it illustrates the total number of characters that are present and the total number of lines that are present inside this. Okay, so similarly we are also going to see one more example where we are going to copy the contents of one file to another file. So how we can just copy the contents, right? So assume that there are two files which are present over there. Now what we are going to do is we are going to copy the characters of one file into another file, right? So I am having two files, one is fp1 and the other one is fp. Two file pointers are being put out over here. So what I am going to do here is I am going to copy the contents which are present in a file which is named as sample.txt, and I am just going to put it there in one more file which is named as new.txt. Okay, so this is what we are going to do here. So how these operations can be just performed, right? How the operations can be just performed, we will see with some of the examples. Okay, so I declare two pointers, fp and fp1, and I don't require the next line, that is number of lines and characters, that is not necessary, right? So that is that we have just put in the previous program, so I just delete that line. Now the same ch that is used to read the character. Okay, then the two files, one is sample.txt in a read mode. We know what is there inside the content, what is there in sample.txt, and the next file, that is new.txt. Now I am just making that file to be open in write mode, and the previous file sample.txt in read mode, and this is in write mode. Then what I do, I just check whether both the file pointers are is null. So I have two file pointers, one is fp and the other one is fp1. So I just check initially fp, which corresponds to this file sample.txt. So I just check whether it is present or not. If there is an error, if there is a null, then I say that the file cannot be just opened. Similarly, I just check in an else if condition, I just check whether this fp1 is null. It indicates that there may be some problems in creating the file that is the new.txt also. So if both the condition fails, it means that the file is ready. So now we can just move for the further operations. Now I just read the characters one by one. So this is the else part. So the else part will be executed when both the if and else if it fails. So I just keeps on reading. This we know that we have seen in the previous cases also. I keep on reading this file. Now what I am doing here is put C. It reads the characters which is present inside FP and it puts it there in FP1. Okay, put C in FP1 and get C in FP. So I am reading the character from the file FP. FP means it indicates that the sample.txt, and FP1 it indicates that it is new.txt. Then this will execute until the UOF, and finally what happens here is I just say that the file has been just copied successfully, and once it is being copied successfully I just close all this file. Okay, now you see the location is :Einstein. I have only one file, that is sample.txt. So you see these are all the contents which are present in sample.txt that we know. Now as per the program, I am going to create a new file that is called as new.txt, :Einstein new.txt. I am just compiling this program. So on the compiling of program, the contents of sample.txt will be transferred to new.txt. New.txt it is being opened in write mode. Now it says that the file is copied successfully. Okay, file has been just copied successfully. Now we'll just move on to that location and we have to check whether the file is being created. Yes, the file is created, which is named as new.txt. Now once you open this content, you see the contents which are there in the sample.txt, it is also present here in the new.txt. Okay, so two files are being created, one file is created. So one is the existing file sample in read mode, and the one more file new which is there in write mode. So the contents which are present there inside this file, it is being put over there. Okay, so now what I am having here is two set of files. One is sample.txt and the other one is new.txt. So now what I am going to do here is I am going to make some changes in this sample.txt, and I am going to view whether that change has been just I am going to execute this program once again, so that I am just going to write the contents of sample.txt to new.txt in the write mode, and I am going to see whether that contents has actually reflected there with the existing contents in new.txt. So we know that new.txt was having 10 lines. Okay, now I am just opening this sample.txt and I am going to make some changes in sample.txt. I am deleting 6 lines. Okay, so I am just deleting 6 lines of Einstein College of Engineering, and I am saving this file. Then I am going to execute this program, right? So I am going to execute this program where sample.txt will be copied to new.txt. So it is under execution. So once the execution is over, the contents from sample.txt will be written to new.txt. Now I am just moving on to this location, and I am just opening this new.txt, right? So on opening this new.txt, you see there the 4 lines which has been just the 6 lines which are deleted from sample.txt, it is now being overwritten, right? So the new contents which are present in this files, that is new.txt, consists of the modified file of this sample.txt. Okay, right. Now we must understand the difference between this write mode and then the append mode. Okay, so previously in this case write mode I was having some contents. So the 4 lines which was just present there in this sample.txt was written there in this new.txt. So that is the write mode. Whereas in case of the append mode, what happens actually is the existing contents will be there. Okay, the existing content of this file will be there. Say for example, I am having a file like sample.txt. Now when you are making this file, to be in a read mode, and the other file which is there in the append mode. The other file in the sense the new.txt which is in append mode now. Now when you are copying the contents from this file sample.txt to new.txt, where the new.txt in append mode, the contents of the sample.txt will be just appended to the end of the file and it will not be overwritten. See, in the previous cases we have seen that the file contents was overwritten, the file contents was overwritten, so the existing contents which was already present was not there. Okay, but in case of this append mode, it is not going to happen like that. The existing contents will be there and the new contents will be just added up towards the end of the file. That is what is the difference between this write mode and then the append mode. Okay, so we will see a small example. Now you see I have two files, one is sample and new. Now I will just open this new. You see I am having 4 lines of Engineering College of Engineering. Now I am making some modification to this sample. Okay, so sample previously it was there with 4 lines. Now what I am going to do here is I am going to make some changes. So let me type some line at the beginning as well as at the end of this file. So in the beginning I am just typing as file after append. Okay, and at the end I am going to type thank you. So this is the new file. I mean the sample file has been updated like this. Now the new file existing contents what is already present there. Okay, now we will see what will happen after execution of this program when sample is being appended to this new. So I will change this mode from new.txt mode from write to append mode. Okay, so instead of W I am updating with A and I am just going to execute this program. So now sample.txt in read mode and new.txt in append mode, the contents of sample.txt is now appended towards this new.txt. Okay, the file is copied successfully. Now we will just move on to this location and view whether the contents has been just appended. Okay, now I am opening new.txt. Now you see, so the existing contents is already present. Okay, so this is the existing contents. Engineering College of Engineering 4 lines were there. Now the new contents from sample.txt has been appended towards the end and it is not overwritten. Okay, so now it is being appended at the end. So this is the major difference between this appending a file as well as this writing a file. Okay, so thank you.